have a book, A Round of Robins. I hope you can see the picture, that the glare isn't too distracting. And we're going to learn about a robin family, a mother and father robin, and their eggs and hatching and new babies and all those exciting things. And the timing is perfect because just this week I discovered that some robins are making a nest in our wreath on our front door. And this won't be the first time. In some years past we've had this happen. In fact, one year, in the shape of the wreath, we had a mourning dove mom and dad make a nest in the bottom of the circle. This was the circle, it'd be down here. And then on the top of the circle, a robin made a nest. So it was like an apartment building, first floor and a second floor apartment. And I was so surprised that they would make nests so close to each other, but they did. Well, we're going to talk about a family that made a nest in this book. It is written by, I forgot to mention, Katie Hesterman, and illustrated by Sergio Ruzzier. Okay, and this robin is making a nest on our door. Got quite a bit of it done today. I'll send you a picture if you'd like. Anyway, here we go. If you were to listen to a robin, and there's one right here in the tree, a daddy robin. Here's the whole page picture, and here's the mommy robin. They're standing a little different than what we see robins stand like, but this is a book, so the artist can make it whatever way they like. And here's three birdies. This could be a red cardinal, and this birdie, the robin, the daddy robin, is talking to them and telling them, we chose this tree, they're going to put a nest right around there. We got this tree first. This is our place to make our nest. You can't come here. Which sounds kind of mean, doesn't it? But it's basically just saying, there's other trees, there's other places you can build a nest, other reeds. We got this one, so find another one, please. Okay? But what they have him saying is, Defender Dad, and this is a rhyming book, I forgot to mention, with words that sound alike. Defender Dad sings, back away, 'cause Mom and I are here to stay. We'll raise a brood, and when we're done, we might just hatch another one. So he's telling them, back away, this is our tree. And they have him saying what robins say. Now, you probably heard a robin sing and you didn't even know it. But they have a little song, and of course I don't sound just like them. But many people say it sounds like they're saying, cheery up, cheerio. So they go, cheery up, cheerio, 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 cheery up, cheerio, cheerio, cheerio. They have a few other sounds, but that's the sound that you might hear if you go outside and listen. It's the sound that an American robin makes. Okay, well, the next picture shows Mom just exactly how I saw her today in my house, with a long, twiggy-looking thing in her mouth and putting it all together to make a nice, round, beautiful nest. And you'll find that she uses mud, too, to hold it together. It says, home sweet home. Mama is an architect. With skill and patience, she'll collect bits of twig, string, wool, and hair to form a tiny, twiny lair. A lair is like a place to live. And there she is in the next picture, sitting on the nest that she built. And doesn't the nest look very perfectly round and packed together well? The nest that I remember the robins made on our door before was amazingly perfectly round, just the right size. It just amazes me how God made those birds to know exactly what to do, and they did it just right. It says, sweet soft grass lines Mama's bowl. They're calling the nest a bowl because it looks like one. A muddy middle keeps it whole. It's guaranteed a perfect fit, so all she has to do is sit. And that's what we saw. She's smiling and sitting on that nest. Now, what's going to go in that nest? I bet you know. This page says accessories. They title each page. 3 is too few, so Mama adds more. Now it's just right, 1 clutch of 4. And there they're looking down at their 1, 2, 3, 4 eggs. And they look very proud of them. See? So the mommy laid 4 eggs. It says a clutch of 4. Clutch is like a grouping of 4. So they're very happy with their 4 little eggs. Now, what does mommy have to do? This page says red hot mama. A heater hides on mama's chest to warm each egg inside her nest with sensors set at incubate. It's in just a dozen days, she'll make 4 little ones all set to hatch. So this, oh, sorry, I didn't finish the next page. 4 little ones all set to hatch, an up and coming birdie batch. And there we see her sitting on the nest. Now it says she has a warm oven in her chest. Well, she doesn't have an oven literally in her chest, but she is able to have enough body warmth right in those areas around her chest and tummy to keep her eggs warm. And here she see the bubbles coming out of her head. She's thinking about these little birdies that are going to hatch. They're not there yet, but she can picture it in her mind. An up-and-coming birdie batch, a batch of babies. And if she does not sit on those eggs and keep them warm with her warm body that God gave her, then you know what? The eggs can't grow inside. The babies inside the eggs can't grow, and they won't make it. So God had her sit there patiently, and she has just the right amount of patience to sit on those eggs until they're ready. The next page is called Inside Job. Head and tail, beak and feather, closely cramped all together. Yolk is gone, space is tight. Pack it in, one more night. And now you can see these. You know, one thing we didn't talk about was the beautiful color. That blue color of the eggs, we're seeing through the eggs here. You can't really see through the eggs. It's what we call opaque or thick enough that you cannot see through the eggs. However, if you could, you would see something like this. Birds without wings or feathers really there yet. Well, the wings are forming, but there's no feathers hardly at all. And they're growing, and they're not looking exactly like adult birds at all yet. They look like babies, okay? And they're growing. And while they're growing, Mom is sitting on them like we said. And then, they're getting so big, it says space is tight, so that means it's about time for them to hatch. Just like when a mommy human has a baby, her tummy gets bigger as the baby grows, and pretty soon it's just the right time to come out. And in this case, when they're in a beautiful blue egg color like this, robins have those eggs in that pretty blue. This page says, welcome to the world. Pip, pip, an eggshell chip. A little chip up here. And then it says, peck, peck, a bright blue fleck. See that little bit of egg shell popped right off, and there's a little hole there. And the next picture says, tweak, tweak, a peeking beak. Ah! And so when it's time for the babies to come out, the mom doesn't crack the eggs or the dad. The baby just knows when to come out, and it starts poking its beak out, which is pointy and sharp enough to make a hole and start the cracking process going. And pretty soon, the baby has cracked and is all unpacked. Look at that. Ta-da! Well, pretty soon all 4 have hatched, and the page says, full house, beaks wide open, eyes closed tight, wobble, bobble, heads upright. Patchy bodies missing feathers, huddle, cuddle close together. And there you go. There's all the babies. Now, see, they look sort of naked in a way because they don't have hardly any feathers at all. They're kind of a beigey color, and that's true. I've seen them when they're new babies. And their eyes are shut. They cannot see, but they know to go and open their mouth and look up, because what are they wanting? They want some food, right? And growing in the egg and being born takes a lot of energy. They need some nourishment, some rocket fuel. Now, what do birdies eat? you'll see that here, but I bet you know. This page says, every birdie sleeps. Mama's feathers dim the light. Drowsy darlings snuggle tight. Balmy breezes rustle the trees. Babies slumber peacefully. That means they're sleeping peacefully in the tree while Mommy protects them. It's hard to see this because it's a big picture and a little nest with Mommy taking care of her babies. But over here in the sky, you can see Daddy coming, and what does he have in his mouth? See? A worm. And that's what this page is about. Food fight. Jumble, jostle, rumble, squirm. Dad has landed with a worm. Yummy. Game of tug of war begins. Biggest bossy baby wins. So here comes Daddy. He's happily bringing in a worm, and the little baby's eyes are starting to open there, looks like, huh? And they have their beaks open and they're ready. And he's like, wait a minute, we have to share. And they start fighting for the food. Peep, 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 they say. And they're kind of tugging it back and forth between two little birds. They haven't learned how to share yet, but they will. Almost a fledgling, this page says. Sleeping, eating, then repeating. Heading in the right direction. That means they're growing and doing what they should be doing. Changing, growing, and it's showing. Now they're fluffs of plump perfection. So here they are, learning how to share and take their turns with eating. See, there's some eating and sleeping. And then some can sleep and some can eat, and they keep growing, and they got feathers, and now they're looking bigger and healthier. Just like they're supposed to be, growing up babies. On the next page we have it's called Pop Patrol, the title is. A high-speed chase is underway. Dad swoops, then strikes. He'll make them pay. To crows and jays, Dad sends a shout. Invade my space, I'll bounce you out. So here is Daddy Robin, and he's saying something different than the cheerio sound. He's saying something else that I'll read to you in a second. But he is not looking happy here, is he? Well, that's because these two crows and this blue jay down here, which may be pretty looking birds, are sometimes nest robbers. They get into the nests and they might hurt the babies. So Daddy Robin says he's having none of that, and he shoos them away. Don't you touch my baby. And he says, yeep, tuck, 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 tuck. Can you say that? Yeep, tuck, 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 tuck. And it does sound a lot like that, although much better than I could do. This page says just wing it, because this is the page where they're learning to fly. Beaks reach to sky, wings flap, flap, try. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so here we have, the birds are thinking, and this one's looking down, thinking, ooh, can I do it? I want to fly, but I don't know if I can. And this guy's talking to him, maybe he's giving him a pep talk, like, you can do it. This one says, I think I'll try it, but I'm a little nervous. And this one says, 1, 2, 3, whoosh, wow. And it does take a little time because they don't know how to fly. They have to learn. And their moms and dads are there to help them. The next page says fledgling fill-up. That's what these babies are called, fledglings, because they're like new ones starting out in life. Wiggle, whip, squiggle, slip, wobble, sup, gobble up, worm. And that's what this is, a page of 2 pages of them pulling worms out of the ground, eating them, looking at them, rubbing their tummy like, that was yummy. And isn't it amazing how the birds know just where to find worms in the dirt? If I walked out the door and thought, I wonder where there's some worms, I wouldn't know where to find them in the dirt in my yard. But birdies do. Another gift from God. And it really helps when it's raining, because the worms will come closer to the surface of the ground and come out sometimes. And you can see in this picture that it's raining, and that helps them find those worms. This page says pool party. Speckled plumpies thrash about, hopping, plopping in and out, basking in a birdie pool. Sorry, sparrows, robins rule. Well, These sparrows are like, hey, we wanted to swim too. But these robins are taking up this whole pool. Now, it's not a swimming pool, it's a puddle. But to the birds, it's like a pool, and they're having a good time. So, earning their wings. Fledgling spots are fading fast. Baby days had quickly passed. When a baby robin is born, they have a lot of spots on their chest. But it says their spots are fading. That means they're getting older and growing. Romping robins roam the lawn, hunting till the worms are gone. Zipping through the hood in flight, roosting with their flock at night on their own, they'll be all right. And so they're showing them living their daily lives. Some worms near about, but they're able to take care of themselves now. See? They look happy and content. They know how to find their food. They know where to stay safe for the most part, and they're just enjoying flying and being birdies. This page says, here they grow again. Empty nesters, that's what they're calling the mom and dad birdie, because their nest is now empty and their children are off on their own. They've grown up fast. It says, empty nesters, not so soon. Dad retweets his tough turf tune. In other words, birds, go away. I have a spot in this tree and I'm not gonna, it's my spot for my family's nest, not yours. Mama builds her second lair, plucks and tucks with utmost care. Do you see what's happening? They're starting another family. About a year has gone by, and here's the daddy saying, move aside. We found this tree. We're going to put our nest right there. And here's the family watching. Oh, I'm sorry. I did it the wrong order. This is the parents watching the birdies, and then it shows them building their nest. I showed you in reverse. Usually the pictures go together across the page, but in this case, there's two separate pictures. Eggs, you bet, she lays 4 more. Turquoise blue just like before, and then in just a dozen days, it only takes a dozen days, that's 12 days. Welcome to the world we played. So here they are, the daddy and the mommy. Mommy's sitting on some eggs, and crack! There they are. A new set of 4 baby birds. You can see them peeking through, and some are hatching already, and some are on their way. And the whole process starts all over again. And that's the end. A Round of Robins by Katie Hesterman. Pictures by Sergio Razier. Hope you enjoyed it. See you later.